Alright, gonna see if I can't get this Synergy Drive module open without destroying it. It's never had it open because pretty sure these are soldered down. I know Mike of Mike's Electronics stuff had a few modules he took apart, but they were for all electric vehicles, and this is a lot more complicated than that. Oops. This drives 2 electric motors. They have to... Well, this is basically the transmission to the Prius. It doesn't have any, like, gear ranges. It just has what's pretty much like a differential. There's an electric motor on one end, the gas engine on the other end, and then the wheels with the other electric motor. Basically making a, I don't know how to describe it. It's strange, but it works. It means that if one of the electric motors doesn't work, yeah, the car is not going to go anywhere. At least not very fast. These top screws are all loose because that's where the wires for the motors came out of these, and then this went to the capacitor on top, which went to the main battery, the reactor. At least they called it the reactor. There it is. Which is this massive choke to drop down the voltage, as well as some other smaller chokes for the 12 volt system. And it has a, let's see, this is for the reactor module or whatever. And this is the 12 volt rectifier. And somewhere around here there is a massive capacitor. It's not big value, but it's like 400 volts, and it's what makes up that big compartment you see on top of the Synergy Drive. That big tub sits on top of this, and it has a big capacitor in there that's like a molded box, I guess. It's yeah, it's a weird, because oh, let's see if I can't get that out. The motor doesn't actually run on 200 volts. It can run much higher, but the battery is a lower voltage to keep the, you know, keep it safer, I guess. Oh, man. I thought I left these loose or something, but I guess I never had this open. I think I had the other transistor module open. But this, I guess I haven't. Oh, I had open here. It also has these current sensors on the, well, I guess I can't really call them outputs because this thing has they're not just motors, they're call them M-gens because they not only regenerate when you're braking, which, by the way, if you drive a Prius, don't drive it like an old lady. That's like the worst. If you drive it like you stole it, it will get better gas mileage than if you drive it slowly. Mostly because the time you spend accelerating is when you're using the most energy and the most gasoline. And when you're coasting, it can just practically just idle and use minimal energy. Oh yeah, and that weird unevenness of the brakes. If anybody's noticed that. So I remember it was a big thing back in the day. That's going from this braking the car, from the motor generators slowing the car down, to the hydraulic brakes, which is not an even transition there. You pretty much, yeah, if you can slow and stop the car without going into that, you know, what would you call it? Region where it wants to. Oh, this might not. May have to get a newer one. That sort of worked. You'll regenerate more power if you use the other brakes rather than letting the hydraulics take over. So if you oh, shit, this isn't even work. If you can slow the car down without using the hydraulic brakes, you're better off because you can charge the battery up a lot better. Ah, this my This may not work. I may not be able to get these undone. They are. Ooh, that sort of worked. They are conformal coated, the whole board, except for over these connectors, which I assume is so that they can solder this together after the fact. Ooh, that sort of worked. Without this smoking up all over the place. Whoops. Yeah, that sort of works. Ooh, over there. Ooh. I'm really curious as to what's under here, because it should, with how this works, these two should be able to transfer power between them, going from the motor side to the wheels, and vice versa, from the regenerating power. Because this is technically also the starter motors too, because the if you've ever been in a Prius and noticed it lurching when it starts the engine up, it's because it's using one of these motors to start the engine, and the other motor is trying to keep the car from rolling. It's not like an electric car, because these are I don't know if I can. Looking at this, and I'm thinking I can probably. Yeah, there we go. A little gooey. That'll work. Oh, shit. One more. Now, whoop, this whole thing should just gently lift up out of here. Okay. There we go. Well, this is probably to protect the board from arcing. These. Oh, wow. Now that is awesome. So, let's see what this is. Let's take this out. I can get that without messing up the glue. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is obviously the engine side, if I'm not mistaken. And this should be the wheel side, the one that goes to the ground to push the car. Oh, it's all gooey. Let's see. These should be the power bars going down the middle. Ooh, there's a chrome in there. And these are the outputs. So, power, output, power, output, power, output, power. So, one will be positive, one will be negative, and it'll switch between the two. Go into the output in the middle, and you can see that each one of these has these big pieces in the middle. These are going to be the transistors, or the IGBTs, or whatever these ones are. And then these outside two devices, this is going to be like a freewheel diode or flyback diode or whatever. These are going to be to protect the transistor, but also it should do the regen, I think, but I'm not totally sure, because each one of these diodes should be pointing in one direction, because you see these go this way, and these go this way, and then these go this way. It's the same on this other side. These go this way, these go this way, these go this way. It's odd that this one is flipped from the others, but that may be a cost reduction thing. Strange. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's covered in a sticky goo stuff. It's like a heat conductive anti what do they call it? Non-conductive film. And it looks like each one of these goes to an individual piece of each one of these transistors, which is very strange. You can tell, I guess, from the top that there's 2 modules per side on this side, and then 1 on this side, because it only had, this side had the smaller connectors. This one's got an extra pin. Oh, interesting. Because there's a, this one has one that goes to the substrate, which is interesting. It looks like it's the only one. There's nothing over here that has the same wiring inside. That's very strange. I don't completely understand how some of this works. Some of them have a little link, oops, on the substrate near the diode, which is very strange. This one's got 2. Oh, no, 3. There's another one over there. And this one's got 3. And this one's got 3. I'm not sure what the maximum output of one of these modules is, but I know the engine side IMGen, I think, is the small one. And then this is, I guess they call it the traction motor. This is what, you know, pushes the car. So this should be the equivalent output or input as the gas engine. And then this is just the traction motor, which is pretty interesting. Because this can put out not only what this can take up, but also whatever the battery can also put out. But then you can also have this one putting out from the battery, if you're really getting on it. Wow, it's really pretty to look at too. You put that behind a glass panel and hang it on my wall. Look at that. I don't know if you can even see that with the camera. Like a brown, shiny color, and then there's all the silver in there, which may actually be silver for the conductivity, but I'm not sure. It's really cool, and this thing is heavy because of these. It's got these copper plates. Oh, the nuts are falling out. These are going to be copper plates with a plating on them, keep them from corroding, like a tin or something. Yeah, pretty interesting to see that. I can't. Yeah. It's really cool output transistor modules. These are probably on a ceramic substrate for heat conductivity and isolation from the main body, because these back pieces are straight onto the heatsink of the Synergy module or whatever. God, I can't believe how much glue is underneath these. I mean, that's such a pain to get off. Holy crap. Got it apart. It's a lot more difficult than the other modules. But yeah, there's a hybrid Synergy drive input-output module. It's pretty interesting. I may have to go through the board and see if these are all connected, because these, like, each one of these 4-pin or 5-pin sections is a transistor output, and they may all be. Let's see if I can pull this off. No, they're not all interconnected. That's really weird. I'm not sure if it's using this for like just higher output, it'll put more pins to the transistors or what. Yeah, there's some of that conformal stuff. This is some gooey stuff. I can't believe how hard that was to pry off of there. I guess that's just in case it floods the Synergy drive with coolant. Well, these are also really cool, these Hall effect modules, I guess. There's a teeny tiny Hall effect in this. Come on, focus. There we go. There's a part number, but if you, let's see, I think I've had one of these apart. Basically, can pop up on this side. Oh no, it's in here. There we go. And this side goes in. Oops. Oh, I think I just broke my razor or my X-Acto knife blade. There we go. Now I can focus. Yeah, there we go. And you can see there's some like transformer windings going around the outside of the sensor itself. And then in the very middle there's a little 4-pin surface mount Hall effect sensor, and then a whole bunch of passive components to calibrate it. Let's see if I can get those resistors in focus. That button. Ooh. Yeah. But they are laser etched on the sides of them. Looks like a little cityscape there on the bottom. Let's see if I can get up super close. May have to get the lenses out to see that. But they're custom resistances to calibrate this to a given output. It looks like there's maybe a little 4-pin chip on the back in there, inside the actual module. I'd have to pull that apart to see what's in there. It's not super exciting, but interesting to me. I kept it. Got it at a junkyard for like 40 bucks. Like this, the reactor, everything, the whole box. I just had to carry that heavy thing up front. And they were like, you want that? We're going to have to look that up, figure out what it is. And I'm like, it's a computer module. They're like, oh, okay, that's $40. And I'm like, okay. Well, anyway, that's what's inside a hybrid synergy drive transistor module. Or I guess it'd be like a H-bridge module. Really interesting.